Stop right there. Before you scroll away, let me ask you something that might change the way you see the world forever. Do you believe that being good keeps you safe? That kindness protects you? That generosity builds loyalty? That honesty earns respect? If you answered yes to any of these, then you're about to uncover the most dangerous lie society has ever sold you. The greatest mistake people make is believing that goodness equals safety. But here's the brutal truth. Goodness is like fire. It consumes everything you've built. Your relationships, your career, your dreams, everything. Niccolo Machiavelli understood this. He watched noble leaders fall. He saw kind rulers destroyed. He witnessed generous people betrayed by those they helped most. And he wrote it all down. Today I'm going to share his hidden truth with you, the shocking cost of goodness no one dares to speak about. In the next few minutes, you'll learn why your goodness is actually making you weak. Why people don't respect kindness, they exploit it. And most importantly, how to transform goodness from your greatest weakness into your most powerful weapon. But let me make one thing clear. I am not telling you to become evil. I'm not asking you to hurt people. What I'm showing you is how to use goodness strategically, not blindly. Because in a world full of wolves, a sheep will always be devoured. Now drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose strategic goodness. From today, everything changes. You will no longer use goodness blindly. You will wield it with precision. In this video, we'll uncover why goodness doesn't always protect you. In fact, it often destroys you, and we'll see exactly how to turn it into a source of real power. Let's begin with the first shocking truth. Number 1. Goodness as exposure. Think about the kindest person you know. Now ask yourself, are they truly respected? Or are they simply the one everyone calls when they need something? Here's the truth. Being good doesn't make you secure. It makes you vulnerable. When you are endlessly kind, people start to see you as predictable. They know you won't fight back. They know you won't say no. They know they can push you around. Because you're too nice to stop them, you become the office doormat. The friend who always pays for dinner. The family member who always says yes, even when it costs you dearly. Let me tell you about someone I knew. He was the best team manager I had ever met. Always helping his team. Always covering for them. Always putting their needs first. Guess what happened? They promoted someone else instead. Why? Because nice people don't look like leaders. They look like servants. People don't respect your goodness. They exploit it. Think about it. When someone is always available, their help becomes worthless. When someone never sets boundaries, people keep crossing them. When someone never shows their teeth, people assume they don't have any. Your goodness becomes your weakness because it signals to the world that you can be used. Machiavelli once said, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves." But you've been trying to survive as a sheep in a world of wolves. That's exactly why you keep getting hurt. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I protect my energy. Number 2, the generosity trap. Now here's something that will blow your mind. The more you give, the less people appreciate it. I know that sounds backward, but listen carefully. Generosity creates short-term applause. People cheer. They praise you. They call you wonderful, and it feels incredible, doesn't it? But over time, something darker happens. Your generosity creates dependency, entitlement, and eventually, resentment. Here's why. The first time you help someone, they're grateful. The second time, thankful. But help them 10 times, they start expecting it. Your exceptional kindness becomes their normal. And if you ever stop giving, they don't remember the 9 times you said yes, they only remember the 1 time you said no. Suddenly, you're the selfish one. You're the villain. Think about parents who spoil their children. At first, the kids are thrilled, but soon gifts become expected. The new phone isn't special anymore. It's just what mum and dad do. And if the parents ever say no, the kids explode with anger, calling them unfair. It's the same in friendships. You always pick up the check. You always drive everyone around. You always help them move. At first, they're grateful. Then, they just assume you'll do it. And if you ever ask them to return the favor, they're suddenly too busy. This is the generosity trap. You give until giving becomes your identity. And the moment you stop, or even just pause, you become the villain in everyone else's story. Your constant generosity doesn't create loyalty. It creates addiction. And like any addict, they get angry when their supply is cut off. The psychology behind this. Humans adapt quickly to good things. What once felt special becomes normal. What once felt generous becomes expected. So your repeated kindness loses its power. It becomes invisible. But the one time you say no, that's the moment they remember. That's the moment they label you as selfish. At work, if you always stay late, it becomes expected. Nobody praises you anymore. But leave on time once, and suddenly you're not committed. In relationships, if you always compromise, it's taken for granted. But stand your ground once, and you're called difficult. Machiavelli once wrote, "Benefits ought to be conferred gradually. In that way they will taste better." He understood something most people never realize. Scarcity creates value. Abundance destroys it. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I give strategically. Number 3, the mask of virtue. Now, let me share a truth that may make you uncomfortable. Society values appearances, not reality. People don't care if you are truly good. They only care if you look good. They don't judge your heart. They judge your image. This means that to maintain respect and power, you must wear the mask of goodness while keeping control beneath the surface. Look at the most successful people you know. Do you think they rose to the top by being endlessly nice to everyone? No. They rose because they were strategic. They chose when, how, and to whom they revealed their goodness. They smiled in public, yet made hard decisions in private. They showed mercy when it served them, and strength when it was needed. They understood that the appearance of virtue is often more powerful than virtue itself. And this isn't about being fake, it's about being strategic. Think of it like this. A doctor may need to cut you open to save your life. Is the doctor being cruel? Of course not. They are doing what must be done, even if it causes temporary pain. Real leaders know that sometimes being truly good means looking bad for a moment. Sometimes helping someone means saying no. Sometimes protecting your team means making unpopular decisions. The mask of virtue is not about deception, it's about timing. It's about knowing when to reveal your softness and when to reveal your steel. Most people get this completely backwards. They expose their weakness to enemies and their strength to friends. The wise do the opposite. Machiavelli once wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." He understood that perception shapes reality. If people see you as weak, you become weak. If they see you as strong, you become strong. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I control my image. Number 4, the economics of power. Here's another truth. Every single thing you do has a cost. Every favor you give. Every time you say yes when you want to say no. Every moment spent helping others instead of building yourself. Most good people never calculate this. They give and give until nothing is left. Then they wonder why they feel exhausted, resentful, and used. But here's what you must understand. Your time, energy, and resources are finite. When you pour them into others, you have less for yourself. This is not selfish, it's mathematics. Unlimited kindness drains your strength. And when you are drained, you cannot help anyone, not even yourself. Think of airplane safety instructions. Put on your own oxygen mask first before helping others. Why? Because if you pass out trying to save someone else, Now 2 people need rescuing instead of 1. Life works the same way. If you burn yourself out, you stop being an asset and start being a burden. Smart people know this. They guard their resources carefully, not out of cruelty, but out of sustainability. I learned this lesson the hard way. For years I said yes to everything, every request, every favor, every quick question that stole hours. I thought I was being good, but in reality I became bitter, angry, resentful. My projects failed, my dreams stalled, and ironically, I became less able to help the people who truly needed me. That's when I realized saying yes to everyone is saying no to yourself. And when you abandon yourself, you eventually abandon everyone else too. The most generous people in history weren't those who said yes to everything. They were those who said no to most things so they could say yes, powerfully, to the right things. Machiavelli once said, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." And you cannot command others if you cannot command your own time, energy, and resources. You cannot lead others if you cannot lead yourself. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I protect my resources. Number 5. The strategic use of virtue. Now let me be clear. I'm not telling you to throw away mercy, honesty, or generosity. I'm not saying you should become heartless. What I'm saying is this: your virtues must be used like weapons, precisely at the right time for maximum effect. A sword sitting on a shelf protects no one, but in the hands of a skilled warrior, at the right moment, it can save a kingdom. Your goodness must work the same way. When you help, it must be intentional. When you show mercy, it must be strategic. When you give, it must create the outcome you want. For example, instead of helping everyone a little, help the right people a lot. Instead of being kind to everyone, be exceptionally kind to those who matter. Instead of saying yes to everything, say yes only to what aligns with your values and goals. This approach does 3 things. Your help becomes more valuable because it is scarce. You create bigger impact because you're focused. You earn greater respect because you're selective. Think about the most respected leaders in history. Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't gentle with injustice. He confronted it with power. Mother Teresa didn't try to help everyone. She focused on the poorest of the poor. They weren't just good people. They were strategically good. Here's how you can do the same. Before saying yes, ask yourself 3 questions. Does this align with my values and goals? Can I do this without draining myself? Will this person truly value what I'm offering? If the answer to any of these is no, then your answer must also be no, kindly but firmly. But when you say yes, say it fully. Give your best. Create real value. Leave an impact worth remembering. This way, your yeses build loyalty instead of entitlement. Machiavelli once wrote, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." What he meant was simple. Sometimes keeping your word to one person requires breaking it to another. Sometimes protecting your family means being firm with co-workers. Sometimes defending your dreams means disappointing those who want to steal your time. Strategic virtue isn't selfish. It's effective. Number 6. The illusion of gratitude. Here's a truth that will change how you see human nature forever. Gratitude is temporary. I know that stings, but it's real. The favors you do, the help you give, the sacrifices you make, they all come with an expiration date in people's memory. What begins as "thank you so much" quickly turns into "you should do this," and then into "why didn't you do this?" You help your neighbor move. The first time, they're overflowing with gratitude. 6 months later, you help again, still thankful but less excited. The third time, they just expect it. The fourth time, they don't even ask. They assume you'll show up. And if you can't, suddenly you're the bad guy. This is human psychology. We adapt to kindness. We stop seeing it as special and start treating it as normal. In the end, people don't remember your kindness. They remember the advantage they gained from it. This pattern shows up everywhere: workplaces, friendships, families. The one who always says yes becomes the one expected to always say yes. The reliable helper becomes the automatic problem solver. And the moment that person sets a boundary, they're accused of betrayal. The more consistent your kindness, the less it's valued. The more available you are, the less special your presence becomes. The more you give without asking for anything in return, the more people assume it costs you nothing. This is the illusion of gratitude. We think that doing more good will make people more grateful, but in reality, it makes them less grateful because they expect more. The people who appreciate you most are often those you help least. The ones who take you for granted are usually the ones you help the most. This doesn't mean people are evil, it means they're human, and humans adapt. So what do? You don't stop being kind, you start being strategic, set boundaries, make your help conditional at times. Let people see what life is like without you fixing every problem. Machiavelli once said, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel." People notice what you're doing now, not what you did before. Your past kindness fades, your current actions define you. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I create lasting impact. Number 7. Results over intentions. The world doesn't care about your motives. It judges your outcomes. You might have the purest heart in the world. Your intentions might be golden, but if your actions don't create results, none of it matters. History doesn't remember those who meant well. It remembers those who got things done. History doesn't remember those who meant well. It remembers those who got things done. So let me ask you, would you rather be remembered as someone who was really nice but achieved little, or someone who may have seemed tough but actually made the world better? Most people choose the first option because it feels safer. But here's the harsh truth. Being remembered as just nice means not being remembered at all. Real goodness is not about appearances, it's about results. Surface-level kindness creates temporary comfort. Tough decisions create lasting change. A parent who disciplines their child isn't being mean, they're preparing them for life. A teacher who gives tough grades isn't cruel, they're sharpening their students for the real world. A boss who demands high standards isn't unfair, they're building stronger teams. Nice people avoid conflict. Good people resolve conflict. Nice people say what others want to hear. Good people say what others need to hear. Nice people keep the peace. Good people create real progress. The world is filled with nice people who left no mark. What the world needs are effective people who deliver results. Machiavelli wrote, "The end justifies the means." This doesn't mean you should do evil to achieve good. It means your intentions don't matter if they don't produce outcomes. People don't live inside your heart. They live with the consequences of your actions. So remember this, real goodness requires courage. It requires you to prioritize outcomes over appearances. To stop asking, will they like me? And start asking, will this actually make things better? At the end of your life, people won't remember your intentions. They'll remember what you built, what you changed, and what you left behind. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I focus on outcomes. Number 8, legacy and survival. Now let's talk about what truly matters, your legacy. How you'll be remembered, what you'll leave behind. History doesn't honor the merely good. It honors those who endured, survived, and transformed their results into greatness. Think about it. Can you name 5 nice people from history? Probably not. But you can instantly name 5 who created lasting change, even if they weren't always pleasant to deal with. Steve Jobs wasn't remembered for being nice. He was demanding, relentless, and often difficult, but he reshaped how billions live and connect. I'm not telling you to be cruel. I'm telling you this. It's better to be remembered for making a difference than forgotten for being agreeable. And here's the hard truth about legacy. You can't leave one if you don't survive long enough to build it. Survival in business, in relationships, in life itself. In life, survival always comes before legacy. You can't change the world if you've been broken by it. That's why being good is not enough. You must also be smart, strategic and strong. The kindest people can't help anyone if they're crushed by those who exploit them. The most generous can't give if they've already given everything away. The most honest can't speak truth if they've been silenced. First, you must protect yourself. Then you can protect others. First, you must build yourself. Then you can lift others. This is not selfishness. This is strategy. It's not cruelty. It's wisdom. True goodness is not weakness. It's the power to choose kindness when it matters most. Machiavelli said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." What he meant is this: respect is greater than affection, impact is greater than popularity, and results matter more than feelings. You don't have to choose between being good and being strong. You can be both. But if life forces you to choose, always choose strength, because only strength gives you the power to be good when it truly counts. Weakness, no matter how noble, only makes you a victim. So remember this final lesson. Goodness without strategy is the most dangerous trap. It leaves you vulnerable, drained, and forgotten. But goodness with strategy, that becomes a weapon of survival, a tool of influence, and the foundation of a lasting legacy. Now the choice is yours. Will you keep practicing blind goodness until it destroys you? Or will you master strategic goodness and turn it into power? If this opened your eyes, hit the like button. If you want more truth that challenges how you see the world, subscribe and ring the bell. And if someone you know needs this message, share it with them. Drop this final affirmation in the comments. I master strategic goodness. Because in a world full of wolves, don't be a sheep. Be a shepherd, not through weakness, but through wisdom, strategy, and strength. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.